Imagine waking up one day and realizing that every fear you've tried to avoid, every doubt that has whispered in your ear, isn't a barrier, but a map. A map leading you deep into the uncharted territories of your true purpose. What if those uncomfortable feelings, those dark corners of your mind you've been told to ignore or suppress, are actually the keys to unlocking the fullest version of yourself? This is not a journey of blame or shame. It's an invitation, a call to explore the parts of yourself that have been hidden, rejected, or misunderstood. It's a path that challenges you to look inward with radical honesty and compassion, knowing that within the shadows lie the seeds of growth, creativity, and profound freedom. As you listen, you will begin to see your shadow not as an enemy, but as a powerful ally, an unrecognized part of your psyche yearning to be integrated, to be known, and ultimately to be transformed. This journey is transformative, demanding both courage and curiosity, but offering something far greater in return. A life lived with authenticity and purpose. By the end of this exploration, you will hold a new understanding of yourself. You'll discover how embracing your shadow can dismantle the patterns that keep you stuck and awaken the freedom that has always been within you. Prepare to step beyond fear and doubt and enter a space where your true self can emerge, whole, empowered, and unshakable. Beneath the surface of your conscious mind lies a hidden realm, what Carl Jung called the shadow. This shadow is composed of the parts of yourself that you've pushed away, rejected, or denied. It's the unconscious reservoir of feelings, desires, impulses, and traits that don't fit the image you present to the world or even the one you hold about yourself. But make no mistake, the shadow is not merely darkness. It is a wellspring of untapped strength, creativity, and potential waiting to be reclaimed. Imagine the shadow as a hidden garden, overgrown and wild, yet fertile with seeds that can blossom into your most authentic power. This neglected part of you is not the enemy to be feared or suppressed, but a mysterious ally whose energy, once understood and integrated, fuels transformation. The shadow holds the traits you might criticize in others or deny in yourself, perhaps anger, vulnerability, stubbornness, or fear, but also gifts of resilience, courage, and passion. Consider this. How often do you judge yourself harshly for feelings you don't fully understand? When someone triggers a strong reaction in you, could it be a reflection of something unresolved within your own shadow? What if every irritation, every projection you cast onto others is actually a mirror showing parts of yourself still waiting to be embraced? These questions aren't meant to condemn, but to invite curiosity. Shadow work asks you to step beyond self-judgment and meet your hidden depths with openness. It challenges the notion that wholeness means perfection, and instead proposes that true authenticity comes from embracing all facets of your being, the light and the shadow alike. By beginning this inner dialogue, you embark on a courageous journey toward self-acceptance and healing. The shadow is not a place of shame, it's the doorway to your most profound freedom and creative expression. Are you ready to open it? Avoiding the shadow is like trying to walk forward while dragging behind a heavy, unseen chain. Every time you deny or suppress parts of yourself, the anger you feel, the fears you hide, the desires you reject, you limit your capacity to grow and transform. The shadow holds the pieces of you that, when left unattended, unconsciously shape your behaviors, reactions, and decisions. Ignoring it keeps you trapped in repetitive patterns, preventing the wholeness and freedom you deeply seek. Carl Jung called the journey of bringing these hidden parts into conscious awareness individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating all aspects of the self, light and dark alike. This is not a quick fix, but a lifelong quest, a courageous unfolding where you meet yourself fully, including the parts you've been taught to fear or disdain. Individuation invites you to reconcile inner conflicts, harmonize contradictions, and emerge as your most authentic self. This archetypal journey echoes through stories across cultures and eras. Take Hercules, who faced 12 seemingly impossible labors, not only physical trials but symbolic encounters with his own inner demons. Or Luke Skywalker, who wrestled with the darkness within him before embracing his true destiny. These heroes teach us that shadow work is universal. To grow, you must face your fears, confront your hidden shadows, and choose transformation over avoidance. So here's the challenge, deeply personal and yet profoundly universal. Are you ready to face your hidden self? To step into the uncomfortable, unknown spaces within, where growth waits in shadow? This is the hero's call, not toward a distant battlefield, but the inner terrain where true victory is won. It is here that you will find the power to reclaim your wholeness, purpose, and freedom. Will you answer? The shadow rarely announces itself with clarity. Instead, it often reveals its presence through subtle yet powerful signs, emotional outbursts, intense reactions, or the sudden judgment of others. These moments can feel like lightning strikes, catching you off guard, leaving you confused or overwhelmed. But beneath these reactions lies a message from your unconscious, a call to pay attention. One of the most common ways the shadow shows up is through projection, when you see in others the traits or feelings you have disowned in yourself. For example, if you feel deep insecurity about your abilities but haven't fully acknowledged it, you might find yourself harshly criticizing others for their perceived incompetence. It's easier to point outward than to face the discomfort within. Projection acts as a mirror, reflecting back the parts of you that you have hidden away, often unconsciously. Think about moments when you've been triggered, when someone's words or actions stirred a reaction that felt bigger than the situation itself. What was it about their behavior that ignited such a strong response? Often, these triggers shine a light on your shadow. The person's impatience might reveal your own hidden frustrations. Their arrogance might echo your buried feelings of inadequacy. Reflecting on these triggers is not about blame or shame, but about curiosity and discovery. Each emotional eruption is an invitation to explore the shadowy corners of your psyche. What feelings or memories lie beneath your anger or judgment? What parts of yourself have you been unwilling to accept? By recognizing these signs and owning your projections, you reclaim power over your inner world. You move from being a passive victim of your unconscious patterns to an active participant in your healing and growth. The shadows that once controlled you become the keys to unlocking deeper self-awareness and freedom. Ask yourself, what are your most frequent triggers? What do they reveal about the parts of you still waiting to be seen and embraced? Buried within the parts of yourself you've long suppressed, the fears, desires, and impulses you've deemed unacceptable, lie not just shadows, but untapped gifts and passions. These hidden aspects of your psyche hold creative energy, resilience, and authentic power waiting to be awakened. When you refuse to face your shadow, you inadvertently deny yourself access to these rich inner resources that can fuel your purpose and fulfillment. Purpose is often mistaken as something out there, a goal to chase, or a destiny to discover. But true purpose isn't a distant prize waiting to be found. It is the internal alignment that arises when you embrace your whole self, light and shadow alike, and live authentically from that place. It is the harmony between who you are deep within and the way you move through the world. Carl Jung captured this truth when he said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This transformation is not about perfection or social approval, but about embracing the full spectrum of your being, including those shadow parts you may have feared or rejected. In doing so, you step into a life that feels meaningful not because of external achievements, but because it resonates with your genuine self. Imagine the energy that becomes available when you no longer waste time fighting against parts of yourself, but instead channel that energy into creation, compassion, and growth. What passions might you ignite if you stopped silencing your shadow? What new avenues of purpose might unfold when you accept all that you are? The journey of shadow integration is also the journey toward your unique purpose. It is an invitation to reclaim your hidden strengths and passions and weave them into a life that feels deeply your own. The path to meaning begins when you stop searching outside and start embracing within. The journey into your shadow begins with radical self-honesty. This means facing your triggers and hidden parts without judgment or denial. When you notice a strong emotional reaction, anger, jealousy, fear, pause and ask yourself, what is this revealing about the parts of me I'm unwilling to see? Rather than blaming others or pushing feelings away, allow yourself to observe these moments with curiosity and openness. This fearless honesty lays the foundation for true transformation. Next, engage in a dialogue with your shadow. Journaling becomes a powerful tool here. Write openly about your fears, desires, and the aspects of yourself that feel uncomfortable. Meditation and visualization can also guide you deeper, inviting you to imagine meeting these shadow parts as characters or voices within. Ask them what they need, what message they carry. This active conversation transforms the shadow from a vague fear into a conscious companion on your path. Dreams are another rich resource. They often speak in symbols and stories, bypassing the defenses of the waking mind. Practice dream awareness by keeping a dream journal and reflecting on recurring themes or emotions. What do these nocturnal messages reveal about your unconscious? By decoding dreams, you gain insight into shadow material ready for integration. Integration is the art of balance. It's not about indulging every dark impulse or giving in to destructive patterns. Rather, it's about accepting and understanding these parts of yourself, acknowledging their origins, needs, and lessons. This process dissolves the power shadows hold over you, replacing fear and repression with clarity and wholeness. Together, these steps create a roadmap for shadow work: honest reflection, active engagement, unconscious exploration, and compassionate integration. This is where the shadows cease to be obstacles and instead become gateways to deeper self-awareness and freedom. Shadow work doesn't just transform your inner world, it ripples outward, profoundly improving your relationships. When you integrate your shadow, the unconscious projections that once colored your interactions begin to fade. You stop seeing others as mere reflections of your fears or insecurities, and instead start relating to them with greater compassion and clarity. This shift dissolves conflict born from misunderstanding and opens space for deeper connection and empathy. Imagine how much lighter and freer your relationships become when you're no longer triggered by hidden wounds, but respond with awareness and patience. Shadow work teaches you to own your emotional responses instead of blaming others, fostering trust and authenticity. The wounds you once tried to hide now become bridges of understanding, enriching your connections rather than fracturing them. But shadow integration doesn't stop at relationships. It also unlocks a wellspring of creative energy. By reclaiming the parts of yourself you suppressed, you free vital forces that fuel authentic expression. This reclaimed energy sparks innovation, passion, and the courage to create from a place of truth rather than fear or conformity. Consider artists and leaders who embodied this integration. Frida Kahlo, whose raw vulnerability and confrontation with pain in her art revealed the depths of her shadow, transforming personal suffering into universal beauty. Or Martin Luther King Jr., who faced his own inner conflicts and fears to emerge as a beacon of courage and justice, channeling his shadow into profound social change. Their work resonates precisely because it comes from a place of whole, integrated being. Through shadow work, your relationships deepen, your creativity flourishes, and your authentic self shines with renewed power. It is not just healing, it is a radical act of becoming more fully human. Shadow work is not merely a personal journey, it resonates far beyond the individual, touching the very fabric of our collective unconscious. When you courageously face and integrate your shadow, you contribute to the healing of the larger whole. Each act of self-awareness, acceptance, and transformation sends ripples through the invisible web that connects us all, helping to dissolve collective fears, prejudices, and patterns of division. Carl Jung believed that the collective unconscious holds the shared shadows of humanity, unacknowledged fears, wounds, and biases passed down through generations. By integrating your personal shadow, you lighten this collective burden, allowing spaces of compassion, understanding, and empathy to emerge in society. It's as if your inner work sparks a quiet revolution, fostering a culture where shadow is no longer feared or denied, but embraced as part of our shared humanity. Imagine a world where more people engage in this deep inner work, where communities are built on honesty, vulnerability, and respect for complexity. Such a society would move beyond judgment and polarization, cultivating connection through mutual recognition of light and shadow. This vision of collective healing is not utopian fantasy, but a tangible possibility, one grounded in the courageous choices individuals make every day. By accepting your shadow, you become a vital part of this transformative wave. You help create a society where authenticity and wholeness are celebrated, where healing is communal, and where the darkness within is met with light, not suppression. This is the deeper promise of shadow work, personal liberation intertwined with the awakening of a more compassionate, connected world. True wholeness does not come from perfection or denial. It arises from embracing every part of yourself, both the light and the shadow. Your shadow is not a flaw to hide, but an integral piece of your authentic being, rich with lessons, strength, and potential. It is the shadow that holds the keys to your deepest growth and the doorway to genuine freedom. So I ask you, what is your shadow trying to teach you? What hidden truths are waiting patiently beneath the surface of your fears, judgments, and discomfort? These lessons are invitations, challenging you to move beyond old patterns, to welcome your whole self with courage and compassion. They beckon you to transform pain into power, confusion into clarity. This journey is not meant to be walked alone. Sharing your reflections, struggles, and breakthroughs can create a community of brave souls committed to growth and healing. By opening up in the comments below, you contribute to a collective space of understanding and support, where shadows are met with light and vulnerability becomes strength. Embrace this call to action as a sacred step toward your true self. Confront your shadow not as an enemy, but as a guide. Use its lessons to reclaim your wholeness and live with greater authenticity, purpose, and peace. Your story matters, and your willingness to face the darkness within can inspire others to do the same. The journey of shadow work is not a destination. It is a lifelong path that requires courage, patience, and unwavering commitment. There will be moments of discomfort, resistance, and doubt, but these challenges are the very fabric of growth. Each step you take toward embracing your whole self, light and shadow alike, builds resilience and deepens your connection to authenticity. Know this, integration is the gateway to true freedom. As you bring your shadow into the light, you unlock inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. You begin to live from a place of profound purpose, where your actions align with your deepest truth. This is the transformation that heals wounds, strengthens relationships, and ignites creativity. Thank you for taking this courageous step with me today. Your willingness to explore the depths of your psyche is a powerful act of self-love and healing. If you're ready to continue this journey, I invite you to explore the upcoming videos, dive into the resources available, or download the free ebook that expands on these teachings. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Together, through shared reflection and growth, we can move toward a life of wholeness and meaning. Keep embracing your shadow, keep walking with courage, and above all, keep becoming who you truly are.